have a ghost story.
You have a ghost story?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. So I was backpacking through Turkey with an ex-boyfriend, and we took a midnight overnight bus from Istanbul to this place called Cappadocia. Cappadocia is on the very eastern border of Turkey, and if you Google it, you'll see that it's very distinct looking. It looks like a foreign planet. It has these formations, these like cave formations that come out of the ground, sort of like most caves are in like a wall in a mountain. These are like standalone caves, right? And so we were exhausted when we got there. We checked into our little Airbnb, not Airbnb, but like a bed and breakfast kind of place. And we took a nap, and it was just like I didn't sleep very well. It was really uncomfortable. Got up, went to dinner. We're exhausted by the time night fell, so we went to sleep. And I noticed before we went to sleep, there was this place was kind of weird. It had like a giant cross on the ceiling, and we were staying inside of these caves, so there was no windows, right? So when you closed the door, it was like pitch black, like you couldn't see in front of your face, like your hand, like nothing. So we went to sleep. I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'm lying there, and I'm like, there's something in the room with us. And I'm just like debating whether I should wake up my boyfriend or not. And I'm like, I don't know, this feels weird. Maybe I'm just being paranoid. So then I hear, hey, Zaki, you awake? And he woke up, and I'm like, yeah. And he's like, there's something in the room with us. And I didn't see anything, right? So every single hair on my body stood up. I was like, oh my God, that's what I was thinking. So then I was like, oh my God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So he's like, I don't know, maybe like let's find the light. Let's turn on the light, because there's a lamp by the bed, right? So we're fumbling around, shit is flying everywhere. We can't see anything. Finally, he finds the electric outlet. He turns on the lamp, and once the electricity came on, it was gone. Whatever it was, the feeling was gone. But we were so freaked out that we slept outside of our room, like under the stars in front of our door, because we were like refused to be in the room. So then the next day we go to breakfast, and I see the proprietor of this bed and breakfast, and I say, I gotta tell you, something really weird happened to us last night, and you're probably gonna think we're really silly, and then I told him the story, and he's like, well, you're like the third person that complained about that room this month. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, you know that this Cappadocia was the first place that the Christians settled after Christ was crucified. And I was like, oh, really? Like I kind of pretended that I kind of knew it, but I didn't do any reading about this place before we went there. And he's like, yeah, the disciples, they fled to this area of the world, and they set up the first churches, which is why you have a giant cross and on the wall. And he's like, the tradition of burying people in the yard of the church. So it kind of started here, but they didn't have yards, so they buried the people in the walls. And I said to him, so there are people buried in the walls in the room that we're staying in? And he's like, yeah, there's bones in there. And I was like, okay, we out of here. We got on the next bus out. And it was so weird, because I don't believe in ghosts, and I don't really that's not my thing at all. I don't know what happens after we die, but there was something weird going on in that room. And nothing like that has ever happened to me since, but that happened, and there was another human being who felt the same way as me. So, there was a corroboration. So that's my ghost story.